So welcome, Melonie, to the show, the Evolve podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today. Seriously, got goosebumps. And it's so special because this year, my birthday year is my 44th year and 8's my lucky number. And this is going to be the last podcast that I record of my lucky year. And so many things are happening. I'm moving, and there's all boxes around me. I'm moving, and so this week is really, really special for me. So I was just, getting into my gratitude practice today and feeling into my intentions for the day and being able to talk to you and go, how special is this? This is my 45th one, so that's super cool. And it's you, and we've been trying to connect, and I was like, of course, it just happens to be today.
Yes.
So yeah, absolute blessing. And it's a privilege to talk to you. I love watching you, seeing you in the space. One thing that resonates with me is that you're so consistent. You just show up. Doesn't matter what day it is, how you're feeling. You're just there and showing up. And it inspires me on days where I'm feeling a little bit low, and no doubt all of your clients and all the other people that are watching you that you don't even know that yet. So I wanted to thank you for your light before I hand over to you. And I'm so excited to hear about all the things you have to offer, and particularly our conversation earlier, we started talking about the podcast, and I said, hey, we better hit record because otherwise we'll talk all day. But what you do in the men's space as well, I think that would be really powerful, because I haven't seen a lot of that in the areas where we work. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jody. Always an honor to be with your beautiful energy. It's so interesting because I'm moving as well. Wow. I'm moving next week to the beach. So we both must be moving to a new vibration. So that's
definitely
exciting.
Amazing. Ooh, beachside. Yeah. That's exactly what mine says. Beachside.
Yeah. Near the sea, more in consciousness.
Yes.
So yeah, men, beautiful men. Lots of backstory to this, I suppose. My dad's had depression and anxiety most of his life. He attempted suicide once. And I am the firstborn and very close to my dad, very deep feeler. And we actually have the same life numbers and very much empaths. And I always had this vision and drive just to help my dad and heal my dad. And that was my life's purpose for a long time. And I just, the beautiful inner child in me, just very much the carer, and just had this will to save him. And of course, we know now that you can't save anybody else. You can only save yourself. And so I heard that saying, be the change you wish to see in the world. And then one day I got it, and I'm like, so I need to be the change to, that I was trying to, support my dad with. So then I started just doing all of this work that I do on myself, and it's just a daily thing. And I'm going on retreat this weekend with my metaphysics group, which will be fantastic. So yeah, always doing that inner work too. And it's about, I suppose, the divine feminine is the emotion, and connecting to all of our emotions. So our fears, our shames, our guilts, hence why we end up with depression and anxiety, because we've got, so many belief systems and the fears and the shames that are not congruent with our, our higher self. So it has to show up as depression. So we actually start to look at it, and causes us a bit of pain. And so I suppose as I accessed more of my feminine energy, and because I had a lot of depression and anxiety myself, and released that and just started to hold a safer space, then I found that a lot of men started coming to me. And then, I don't know, was it 2 years ago then? I started my first 12-week to success class just for men. And I was just so honored to be holding that space for them. It was just absolutely beautiful and just went so well. It was incredible. And then started it again this year. And so it's a whole year, a program of Men's Mastermind. We show up every week, every Tuesday for an hour, do sessions on connecting to our inner self, emotions, belief systems. And it's just, most days on Tuesdays I walk away and I'm just in awe of them. They're just so beautiful and powerful, and yeah, they're real game changers. We've got some people in there doing some, I mean, everyone does amazing things, but they're just the leaps of courage that they're taking to really go on their life's path, and their purpose is beautiful. And yes, I suppose underpinning that is this is this need for, I always wanted, that support wasn't there for my father, who was a very deep feeler, the opposite to his father, who was very hard and, you know, don't feel and suck it up and, you know, get on with it. And so then that caused a lot of, you know, internal turmoil for my father, because he was very different energy. And so as you do, you make that wrong about yourself, don't you? But really, so now we're in this space where we can open up and be the empaths and the feelers that we are. And then in that space of releasing the fear, then all our intuitive gifts start to come in. So it's beautiful. I had one of the guys, I remember he rang me up one day. He goes, Mel, have you got time to talk? I said, yeah, no worries. And he said, I've got to talk to you about something. And he had this amazing intuition about someone. He was just driving along, and then he saw someone, and he got a download about them. Yeah. He's like, Mal, this is really weird. And I was like, so excited for him. I said, no, this is amazing. This is what happens when you do this work on yourself. You start to connect to your intuition, you know, your sixth sense opens up. And he was like, oh my God. So the game gets really fun. As they,
now what's possible, we get to play in this space. It's, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And you get the, oh my gosh, guess what just happened? And you're like, okay, bring it.
Yeah, it's and I don't know if you're finding with your clients as well, is that there's, I suppose, this beautiful energy, I suppose, hence what COVID's bringing, this increased solar cycle, is that people are becoming more intuitive, like they're intuitive, their dharma, their special gifts are coming through, which is so beautiful to watch and witness.
Yeah, so true. And so I'd love to know, for the listeners, obviously your followers know a lot about you, but I'd love for you to share, for my listeners on the show, all about you. So how did you get to talking to me today? What are you passionate about? How they can connect with you? And I guess one thing I'd love to take away was, as I was preparing for this session, is I'd love to know what your message is for the world right now. I feel like so many things are shifting. Like people are rising, things are changing. And I don't know about you, but I feel like the world just doesn't need more content at the moment. I go to create content, but I feel like I really just need to resonate connection and calm. And so I'd love to know what your, you know, your powerful message is for today too. If you had this platform, which you do, what would your message be?
Well, I suppose which ties into tell a bit about myself and how I got here. So my message is, which is the retreat I'm going on this week, and it's the path I'm leading and working on so much right now, is just to do you. And that story that I just shared about my dad is, I was always about my dad. I was always about my family. I was always about, it makes me emotional. I was always about other people. And where was Mal? Like I was like, I was insignificant and wasn't worthy of my own love. And so it's amazing when you start to just do you and you get out of other people's business, you raise your consciousness, and then they around them, they will rise up as well, because they feel that beautiful safety and that energy. And, you know, I've been on this journey for 10 years, like full on every single day since, I broke my wrist back in 2010. I was an overachiever and always burning out on living off my adrenals and giving out to everyone. I was a nurse. I was very privileged. I was a palliative care nurse. I'm very emotional today. I had the most honorable, beautiful job. I used to go around to people's homes and support them to die well. And it was a very, very privileged job. So my youngest I ever looked after was 3 months old. And that was around Christmas time. I looked after kids, teenagers, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s. And so, yeah, it was just an amazing experience. And I just would listen to their beautiful stories. And a lot of people would say, oh, I didn't do much, Mel, not much. And I just start talking to them. And then well, oh my God, are you kidding? Not done much. Crikey. So if we don't see ourselves, we don't think that we're much. We're just, always, I suppose existing in life rather than, really living it. And in listening to my patients' stories, a lot of them were very much who I was. They were givers. They gave out to people all the time. They worked really hard. And for me, I just realized that my level and our level of success as a society was upside down. So we were all just human doings, and to get somewhere, the next house or the next job promotion or da-da-da-da-da. And it was just burning out the bodies. And then my clients used to say to me, Mel, I know when I got cancer. And I'm like, hang on a minute. You know when you got cancer? Oh, yeah, this time in my life, this was happening, all this stress response. And I'm like, hang on a minute. I thought it was because I was brought up in this Western world of, you get cancer from smoking or this or that. But I just came to realize it's all stress, it's the stress response.
Yeah.
And then I went, well, hello here. If I don't change my way, I'm going to end up in one of those beds, because I was really stressed and just, go next thing. All because I wanted my dad's love. I wanted my dad's significance. I wanted my dad's recognition. So if I achieved high, like I was always getting the highest accolades, and it wasn't until I started doing this work that I realized one day when I got to the top of Toastmasters, because I had a massive fear of public speaking. And then I got to the top of Toastmasters, about to go, for the state. Yeah. And I'm like, and I just had a chat with myself. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Why are we doing this? Because it's all like, I loved it. Like, it was amazing, but you have to be really perfect. And I'm so not perfect. I'm just show up as me. Yeah. And I had a chat with myself. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I just got it. It was like my little inner child came in and said, oh, because then dad sees us. Dad comes to all these things. He doesn't come to anything else. But when I'm doing amazing things, he's always there supporting. Yeah. And then I just said to her, I said, are we done? Yes. And so then I just quit Toastmasters. And yeah, I suppose my life just started to go down a different approach, where I just went, and my mentor used to say to me all the time, Mel, you don't need your dad's love. You don't need your dad's love. But it took me a long time to actually get that. Yeah. And so all I needed was my love. And so, yeah, this academia, this high achiever, I eventually did burn out hugely after I broke my wrist, which was the biggest gift ever. And I know in that space that my ego actually surrendered to my higher self. Yeah. And that's why that's why COVID can be such a wonderful time now. People are under a lot of stress, which can break our ego. And then our higher self takes over. And then we get on our path, our life's path, and life starts to turn out really beautiful and wonderful. And we realize how off path we were. So, yeah, that's a bit about my story. So I became my first client. After my breakdown, I realized that I was very hard on myself and I had no self-love, and I could achieve anything, because I ducked the class then after I broke my wrist and got the highest academic achievement. And I was up there receiving the award going, I think this is a big deal. Everyone's got their fancy hats on and things. And because I was always tick the box. What's next? Tick, next, tick, next. Couldn't enjoy or be proud of myself, or just, sit and be in those moments, because I wasn't connected to my feminine energy. Yeah. And then I just had an awareness, and I went, oh, if I can achieve this with self-hatred and force and fear and not good enough, imagine what I could achieve if I was kind and loving to myself. Yes. So I put it out there to the universe. I had no idea how to achieve it. It wasn't in my awareness, because we were all like, put everyone else first, put yourself last. Yeah. And then, I met my first mentor then when I was in Nepal doing some volunteer work. One of my colleagues spoke about this mentor that she was seeing. And I went, oh my God, I need her. I was like, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. And then I thought I'd have a few sessions and I'd be done.
Yeah.
And here I am 10, 11 years later. I'm with a different mentor now. I've had Rosemary for 6 years, probably going into my 7th year, and studying metaphysics. And now I've got more mentors I take on and coaches and things. And but yeah, I suppose I became my first client, and I learned how to access my relaxation zone, so my parasympathetic nervous system and my inner child, and find the love within, and the feminine energy and the masculine energy, and and start to just, I say, fill yourself up and give out your overflow.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because otherwise, and my biggest why is to prevent and cure disease. That's what gets me out of bed every morning. That's what because I saw so many people die. I was a nurse for 18 years, and young people, old people, and a lot of it was because of the stress response and the way we've been taught to treat ourselves is very poorly. Very poorly. Big shift in self-love and self-care, and then your body heals. I've had a lot of ailments, back pain. I had some cancerous cells in my ovary, all sorts of things that have healed from doing this work. And it's a very profound privilege. And that's what gets me out of bed when I can't be bothered every day. It's like I want to, and do it for me as well.
Yeah. So powerful. Thank you for sharing. Tears, I've got snot everywhere still.
I've always got a tissue. I cry a lot all day long. I'm always crying.
Really, your story. So if we have people listening that are just like, I need to work with Mel, this is me. Today is my day. I'm going to make a change. Like what ways can you work with them? And then obviously we'll put all your contacts in the show notes so they can just click on the link and find you. But what are the different ways they can come and work with you?
Well, we've got lots of ways now. We've expanded a lot. So now I do practitioner training. So I teach people. Now I refer out to my practitioners as well for them, which is, and it's amazing. Like then they end up becoming practitioners. So it's really, it makes your journey so worthwhile because of what you've been through. Then you can help other people. So we work with burnt out high achievers, finding freedom and joy that are empathic. That's our niche. That's who I am. It's who all my clients are. That's who we know we can help, because that's who we are and what we've worked through. And then in that space, then your beautiful intuition starts to come in. So there's, I do some one-on-ones now. A lot, I send out to my practitioners. I have mastermind groups. I have my men's mastermind. I have 2 women's mastermind, and then I have a special one for my my mentoring clients. We have a monthly webinar as well, so we all get together. And then now the practitioner training, which is really very exciting. Something I'm very incredibly proud of, passionate, grateful to do, to share my model that I've been working on, I suppose, for 10 years. It's very beautiful, very beautiful. I'm very grateful to be the conduit to bring this, this soul alignment work, so that we can all be living our path and our purpose and enjoying life and abundance. And, it's really about having it all. They're the different ways, either the groups, the one-on-ones, or the practitioner training as well, which is incredibly exciting. So and I'm very much a people person, so that I love to connect with people and then book in a chat like this, just a Zoom chat, and get to know them and find out what they're looking for, and finding the best fit, for each person. That's really the key to success, because we all need mentors. I don't know how people do life without them. I mean, of course, I'm great. I just get more because I love learning too, and I love deepening myself, and so I can be more in service, because I only ever come from overflow. I'm always full. If I ever start to get low to there, I'm like, what do I need to do? What needs to happen? And then I'm back in overflow. So that's what we really teach people, so you can really enjoy life, and rather than coming off the adrenals and the burnout. And which I've certainly experienced, and I can't even go there anymore. It's just not possible.
I hear you. Yeah, nearly everything you said was just so heartfelt, saying burnout exec. And I still see it now every day. It's just that underbelly of leadership, and it's so highly rewarded. The emails I'm still getting at 11 p.m. from executives, and the 5 a.m. dossiers, and I just think, oh my goodness, we're missing out, people, on this beautiful gift. And the whole reason that I changed my life and relocated and started again. And I really resonate with that. And I love that you connect with the chat and then find out what's best for the people. I think that's so beautiful. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, we don't we've had a chat before about selling.
Yeah.
So we don't sell, we sort.
Yeah,
so people come when they're ready, and then we sort out what's best. Because this work, you can't sell it to someone. You've got to be ready. It changes your whole life. Like, you actually end up living the life of your dreams, and you're like, wow, I had some guilt come up this week around that. I was like, my life's just getting so much easier and fun, and I'm moving to the beach and I'm living my dream life. I had this guilt around it. It's just so interesting. So it's you've got to be ready to do this work, because it can be challenging at times, but my God, is it worth it?
So true. And I couldn't agree more. I had a lady that came to me about 3 years ago, and we had a conversation. She's just came back to me last week and said, I've just saw your live and I'm ready. And I was like, awesome. That's great. Let's do it. But you're so right. They need to choose when they're ready. And same, I had a lady saying, I'll tell you my problems and you tell me if your retreat's right for me. And I was like, I'm open to listening to you, but only you will know. Only you will know.
Yeah.
And then that's what we get to call work. It's just so beautiful to be in service. So I have no doubt that you've inspired people to live a higher life, a life with less disease, to know that there's a different way, to know that self-love is the way instead of accolade after accolade. So I'm so excited for the comments to come in from your show. So thank you so much. Before we close off today, is there any last comments you want to say? I just want to create the space for you to do that in the show.
I just for everyone to give themselves permission to receive love from themselves. We're very programmed and we want to change the world by giving, but it's in that giving that we can cause so much depletion in ourselves, and we're actually taking from the collective consciousness. I had no idea until I learned all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was helping the world, but I wasn't, because I was so burnt out. I was actually lowering, my vibration, and so we don't help when we're in that doing, busy, frenetic energy. We're actually taking from the collective. Just giving everyone permission for whatever that is for them today. If it's a cup of tea, if it's, it doesn't have to be anything significant, whatever, but just to stop and just putting that intention of receiving from self, and then that will just open up the space for more of that, and then you just get more love, then you got more to give. That's why you do this work, because you want to give. But you have to just learn, to put yourself first.
Be you came through really strongly for me, more in the being, less in the doing, and being you. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Take care. God bless. It's an absolute honor.
Thank you, Ma.
So thank you so much. It's been an honor.